What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball video. We are going to have a lot of fun today because we will be ranking the best players from 26 years old all the way up to 42. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the oldest player in baseball is Fernando Rodney. He hasn't been very good, but you know what? He's going to make the list today. And one thing to note about this video is, for the life of me, I could not find a filter on MLB.com, ESPN, Baseball Reference that listed all the players by their age. So this was all me doing research. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, make sure you slap a like on this one, because honestly, I think I put more effort into this video than any video on my channel. So if you guys like it, make sure you let me know, because my brain hurts. The first video where we talked about players that were 25 years and younger did really well, so I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and make part number 2. I think you guys have waited long enough. If you guys have any guesses, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, because 26 years old, oh my gosh, there's so many players that we could choose from. So without further ado, let's start talking about some baseball. The 26-year-olds of Major League Baseball include Mookie Betts, Javier Baez, Bryce Harper, Trevor Story, Xander Bogaerts, Jorge Polanco, and Jose Ramirez. I feel like Mookie Betts is the cream of the crop in terms of all of the 26-year-olds. I do have to give some props to Xander Bogaerts and Javier Baez, because I feel like aside from Jorge Polanco and maybe Trevor Story, these three dudes are having the best 2019s. But Mookie Betts, just the fact that he won the MVP last year, and also not only is he great inside the batter's box, I've talked about this in recent videos, Mookie Betts is so good on the defensive side. I have to give it to him. I know that Xander Bogaerts is becoming one of the better shortstops in all of baseball this year. He is exploding for 25-something home runs and over 80 RBIs. And Javier Baez, in my opinion, might be the most exciting player in baseball. But the 26-year-olds, all the players that we named off, resume is for sure going to come into play with this one. And we're going with Mookie Betts for the 26-year-olds. Now we get to age 27. This one's going to be really tough. I'm not excited for this, but hey, we got to do it. Also, guys, I just wanted to let you know that we're choosing the player's age before the All-Star break. So pretty much from the start of the season up until before the All-Star break, that's the age that we're going to choose. So if Mike Trout turns 28, he's still going to be age 27 in this video. Same for if someone just turned 39, it's going to be 38 in this video. So keep that in mind. Mike Trout, Christian Yelich, Aaron Judge, Manny Machado, and Chris Bryant are all 27 years old, and it is going to be so hard to leave out any of these players on this list, because again, they're 27 years old, so it's not like I can put Aaron Judge on 30 or anything like that. So for right now, I think we can all universally agree that Mike Trout is the greatest player in baseball. So obviously, if we're talking about 27-year-olds, he is just going to nudge out Christian Yelich and Aaron Judge. I feel like Aaron Judge does not get a lot of credit for his defensive capabilities, but Manny Machado, we all know what he can do. Chris Bryant is having a comeback 2019 after not being that great in his previous couple seasons. I mean, there's nothing that this guy can't do. A couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, he threw a baseball 100 miles an hour from outfield to home plate. So whether it's stealing a bag, hitting a home run, hitting for average, taking a walk, or getting intentionally walked, Mike Trout is easily the best player in all of baseball, and honestly, it's not even close. Age 28 is going to be brought to you by Seatgeek. If you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that, make sure that you use code Fuzzy for $20 off your tickets. 28, it's going to be a little more easy because we have Nolan Arenado, Max Muncy, and Garrett Cole. If I'm missing anyone, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below, but I feel like these three guys are the best in all of baseball. Max Muncy, I mean, no one really knew about this guy dating back to 2017, 2016. Garrett Cole has been a model of consistency every single year. I honestly feel like we're looking at a potential Hall of Famer, but Nolan Arenado, how can you not give it to him? At 28 years old, this guy, he's on track to win 10 to 15 gold gloves. He's going to hit 450 to 500 home runs once his career is all said and done. So I know that the Coors Field effect is going to play into the argument a little bit, but when we're talking about the 28-year-olds, Nolan Arenado, he's easily the best from this group. Now that I'm looking at my script one more time, I really feel like age 29 is going to be the hardest to choose a winner, because we have Freddie Freeman as the front runner, followed by Jose Altuve, one of the best second basemen and infielders in all of baseball. Anthony Rendon, maybe the best offensive third baseman in baseball. And then last but not least, we have Anthony Rizzo, who is coming back with a vengeance with his buddy Chris Bryant in 2019. Brizzo is officially back, but if we're looking at all the names, Freddie Freeman, Jose Altuve, Anthony Rendon, and Anthony Rizzo, I feel like the one guy that stands out that has been doing it for as long as we can remember is Freddie Freeman. This guy is a perennial all-star. He's really good with the glove. He can move a little bit with the legs, and he's also been in a home run derby, so kind of like Mike Trout. He's almost the Mike Trout of first basemen. He can do anything that you need him to do. I'm not even gonna really talk about stats too much in this video, but Freddie Freeman, let's break it down real quick, because just like every single player that we have mentioned before, we might be looking at a future Hall of Famer, if not already one. Through 10 seasons, Freddie Freeman has a 46.4 career WAR, which is only going to increase because 2019 is not over yet. He has a 294 lifetime batting average with almost 1,500 base hits, 215 home runs, and this is all not in his prime. In 2019 at 29 years old, which is really a baseball player's prime year, he has 129 base hits with 26 home runs, a 302 batting average, 83 runs, 85 RBIs, and a 951 OPS. So he's having a career year. We might be talking about Freddie Freeman 10 or 15 years from now as a second, third, maybe fourth round Hall of Famer. Man, this list does not let up. Age 30 is going to be pretty tough as well. So we have Whit Merrifield, Chris Sale, Starlin Marte, and Eduardo Escobar. A lot of you guys might not think that Eduardo Escobar belongs in this group, but he's breaking out the last couple years, so I really feel like I had to at least mention him. Starlin Marte, he is one of the best, but he was in the conversation of doing steroids. So I don't know if I can include him, but between Chris Sale and Whit Merrifield, 9 out of 10 times I am going with Chris Sale, but the fact that he is not having a good 2019, when I say that, he is underperforming so well to the point where most of the baseball world is now thinking, is Chris Sale overrated? I don't think so, but for this list in 2019, age 30 years old, I'm going to give it to Whit Merrifield. Talk about a late bloomer. Whit Merrifield did not get his first real shot at Major League Baseball until he was 28 years old. That year he had 19 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 34 stolen bases. Now that was back in 2017, and ever since then this guy has been one of the better second basemen that I can think of. He led all of baseball last year with 192 base hits and 45 stolen bases. This year he's played in 111 games, which leads all of baseball. He has 9 triples, 12 home runs, 55 RBIs, 16 stolen bases, so you can tell that he is starting to age a little bit. He also has a 303 batting average and an 842 OPS, so a little bit more pop. I think that Whit Merrifield is going to do special things maybe for 2 or 3 more years, and that is why he is going to get my pick for the best 30-year-old in all of baseball. And if you disagree with me, maybe you're a Red Sox fan, let me know in the comment section down below. Hey, Fuzzy, you're wrong. Chris Sale or Starlin Marte or Eduardo Escobar, they're the best, and you're wrong again. Steven Strasburg, DJ LeMahieu, JD Martinez, Paul Goldschmidt, Clayton Kershaw, and Jacob deGrom. These are all the 31-year-olds of baseball in 2019. I do have to give the slight advantage to Jacob deGrom because if we go back to 2018, just like I brought in the resume for Mookie Betts, 2018 he was able to capture the MVP, and Jacob deGrom, he's coming off a Cy Young Award season, and he's not been as good as he was last year, but a 2.78 ERA. He's been really good in the second half. I really think that he's going to get better and better as the season progresses. The Mets, I know they're probably not going to make the playoff, but if you're comparing Jacob deGrom to all the other players right now at age 31, in my opinion, I have to give him the nod. There aren't very many good 32-year-olds, at least in terms of superstar 32-year-olds in baseball, but I think I found a few. The two that I wanted to pick out was Hyun-Jin Ryu of the LA Dodgers and Michael Brantley, both completely different players. They each made the All-Star team this year. I just feel like Hyun-Jin Ryu, the fact that his ERA is still below 2, there was a point where he went 30 plus innings without giving up a single run, so I think his impact to the LA Dodgers means way more to Michael Brantley because that Astros lineup with Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, even with the addition of Yordan Alvarez, I think that Michael Brantley, if he left the Astros, it would not hurt them as much as if Ryu left the Dodgers. So if we're talking about 32-year-olds, yes, I know Michael Brantley is really good. I'm not being a biased, salty Indians fan because he left us for the Astros. I'm just trying to state the facts. Ryu is more important to the Dodgers than Michael Brantley is to the Astros because it was a kind of an even comparison, and that's why I chose him. If I got it wrong, let me know. We have the battle of the 32-year-olds. It's going to be pretty simple in terms of talking about the players because really, from the research that I did, Corey Kluber and David Price were at the top of this list. You would think as an Indians fan that I might go the Corey Kluber route, but that is not the case because really in 2019, he almost has a 6 ERA and he's been injured for most of the year because he was hit by a comebacker in the forearm. It broke his arm. David Price is kind of on the edge right now simply because he's 33 years old. He has a 7-4 record. To start 2019, he was really good, but in 20 starts, it's getting up to a 3.86 ERA, so he's about to hover over 4 if he has one more bad start. Now, he does have a 10.8 strikeouts per 9, which is the highest of his career, so if maybe he can strike out a few more hitters, maybe stop giving up the home runs, he can get even better. But between David Price and Corey Kluber right now, I'm giving it to David Price, which I know it's going to shock my grandpa if he's watching this right now, but let's face it, 3.86 to a 5.8 ERA, I know that he was injured. It's got to go to David Price. The Baltimore Orioles pretty much gave up on Adam Jones, who at 34 years old, a lot of people thought that his playing days were over, but of course he joins the Diamondbacks and has one of the better seasons as an outfielder, although I don't think it's enough to surpass Justin Turner. Justin Turner is not going to blow you away in the power department. A couple years ago, back in 2016, he had a career high of 27 home runs, but so far in 2019, at 34 years old, the guy, I mean, pretty solid. 16 home runs, 46 RBIs. He has a 284 batting average to go along with an 838 OPS. Now to compare that with Adam Jones, at the time of this recording, Adam Jones is pretty much trailing Justin Turner in almost every single offensive category, so I think Justin Turner wins this by default. If I forgot any other 34-year-old in baseball, let me know in the comment section down below, because if we're being honest, that round was a little boring. Raise your hand if you knew that Yuli Gurriel was 35 years old. As I was researching this video, yeah, it stumbled upon me that he's 35. I had no idea. If we're talking about the best 35-year-olds, I think he's in the mix, but between Max Scherzer, Zach Greinke, and Charlie Morton, he doesn't stand a chance, and honestly, all those other dudes, they can't hold a candle to Max Scherzer. Also, this is just a side note because we're going to talk about Max Scherzer, but I'm looking at Baseball Reference. He's making $42 million this year. What? That's a lot of burritos. If we're being honest with ourselves, Max Scherzer deserves every single one of those dollars, because the last couple years, I can't name a better overall pitcher in baseball. He's won 3 Cy Young Awards in the last 6 seasons. And then if we include this year, his 7th year, where we've really talked about him as being one of the better pitchers in all of baseball, he could be looking at a 7-year stretch where he has been top 5 in the Cy Young Award every single season. And honestly, at the time of this recording, he has a 2.41 ERA. He is leading the entire league with a 12.7 strikeouts per 9 as a pitcher, as a starting pitcher, I should say. It doesn't make sense how this guy is doing this at 34 years old. And coming up next, Justin Verlander. He's even better. Actually, let me go ahead and let me pause on what I just said. I think that Max Scherzer is better than Justin Verlander right now. At 36 years old, it is really no shame to say that you have a 14-4 record and a 2.73 ERA like Justin Verlander, but his strikeouts per 9 is not as good as Scherzer. Yeah, Max Scherzer is better. I don't think that's an argument right now. Maybe it's because Max Scherzer is a full year younger, because we are talking about the 36-year-olds now, not the 35-year-olds. Before I start talking about Justin Verlander, I do want to mention the other honorable mention for 36-year-olds. Hunter Pence in 2019, he's really having a comeback season. Aside from JD Martinez and another player that we're about to talk about, he's probably been the most valuable DH in all of baseball so far. But I mean, you can't deny it. Justin Verlander at this age, he's, to quote my friend Giraffe Neck Mark, he's like fine wine. He gets better every single year. Between 37 and 42, we only have 5 players to talk about, so the group is very, very small. Shin-Soo Choo and Yadier Molina are both 37 years old. I do have to give the slight advantage to Shin-Soo Choo just because he's actually doing well in the batter's box. Yadier Molina, we can just tell that his knees and just everything is catching up to him. Do you guys think that Yadier Molina is going to make the Hall of Fame? Because I think that he has that going for him as opposed to Shin-Soo Choo. But if we're just talking about 2019 as a single season, Shin-Soo Choo, the fact that he has a plus 800 OPS, how could you not give it to him? At 38 years old, I really don't know how Nelson Cruz is doing this. I don't want to speculate what's been said in the video with Starling Marte and steroids, because I know that Nelson Cruz was busted before, but 38-year-old hitting 27 bombs and a 289 batting average with a plus 1000 OPS in 80 games, that's pretty hard to do. If we're talking about his age group, there's no one else. It's him, it's Nelson Cruz, and Nelson Cruz. There's no one. He is a huge reason why the Cleveland Indians are no longer the front runner in the American League Central. That might change because the Indians just pulled off a huge amount of trades. They traded away Trevor Bauer in exchange for Franmil Reyes and Yasiel Puig, some huge power bats. Like I said though, that doesn't really pertain to Nelson Cruz, and at 38 years old, he's doing things that we haven't really seen that often before at that age. Albert Pujols is definitely not the machine that we all grew up and loved watching when we were younger. Although it is a little bit sad watching him run the bases, he is still serviceable as a 39-year-old. 40 and 41-year-olds, they don't exist right now in Major League Baseball, at least from my research. Last but not least, at 42 years old, we're going to go with Fernando Rodney, only because he's 42 years old and really the only player at 42. He hasn't been great, but he makes the list. Congratulations. Well, that is pretty much going to do it for today's video of ranking the best Major League Baseball players that were 26 and older. If you like this video, make sure you slap a like. Do not forget, I know a lot of times you enjoy the video, but sometimes people just forget. It's all good. Make sure you guys leave a comment if I screwed any of these ages up, and also subscribe if you like baseball, because we're nothing but baseball here and there's so much more content coming. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.